lift this title. He's a big time player. He's won everything there is to win in the game. But it's an interesting matchup, this, with Zhang Zihao. They've actually played already this season in the qualifiers. Zhang actually got the better of Stuart Bingham, so it's possibly a bit of revenge on the cards, maybe. We'll soon find out.
Proper mouth-watering affair, this one. We're talking about Stuart Bingham. Phil caught up with him earlier.
Stuart, day 3 of the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters, and finally you're into the fray.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Been obviously around the venue for the last couple of days. Obviously a great venue, but yeah, obviously itching to get going.
You're playing Zhang Zihao, who you've played twice before. You whitewashed him on one occasion, but the last time you played, he had the better of you.
Yeah, obviously qualifying for Wuhan this season. Felt a bit rusty, maybe probably at the start of the season. Missed a couple of easy balls the first 2 frames, and obviously cost me in the end. So hopefully I can iron them out and get off to a good start today.
But that run to the semi-final at the Crucible, that must have reinvigorated your confidence.
Yeah, I feel like my game's getting there. It's getting stronger and stronger by the day, by the tournament. So yeah, hopefully looking for a good sort of run. Obviously the prize money here is massive towards the ranking points and that. So obviously I'm trying to get back in the 16, and hopefully a good run here could do it.
And finally, you've won in Gibraltar, you've won in China, you've won all over the place. What would a victory, a trophy here in Saudi Arabia, mean to Stuart Bingham?
Everything, like you say. Obviously the last maybe 4 or 5 years has been a bit barren. Not great, but obviously to sort of kick off, to be the first win here in Saudi Arabia would mean the world to me.
Thanks, Stuart. All the best.
Cheers, Phil.
Great to hear from Stuart Bingham. Great to hear him looking happy, by the way. Just a couple of years ago, Ken, he was possibly struggling. Seems to put all that behind him. Whatever he's doing with Chris Henry, it's working.
Yeah, his confidence is back. He had a great run, to the semi-final of the World Championship. Almost got there. But yeah, form is temporary, class is permanent. He is a class player, Stuart Bingham. And there's nobody loves snooker on the circuit any more than he does. He would play in pro-ams all around the country, all around the world. But he absolutely loves the game. And it's great to see that he has that appetite and he has that confidence back.
He's also got a serious opponent in Zhang Zihao. What should we know about him?
Well, he's another young player coming through. There's so many now, but one thing I really like about Zhang Zihao is how he sort of looks on the shot. He sort of drops in. It's so effortless. The game at times looks so simple to him. He plays an attractive match as well. He likes an open attacking game. And yeah, I think, Stuart's got his work cut out today for sure.
And that's just what happens on the TV table. As I say, 8 matches in total. So without further ado, let's get the players out and hand to Tahir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Riyadh for day 3 of the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters. An exciting day of action as seeds 17 to 48 enter the competition. Between them, they have 50 ranking titles and 11 majors. The Battle of the Bays is ready to get back underway, and it's time to welcome our first players here in round 3. So up first on table number 8, please welcome Jimmy Robertson and fans
Thank you very much to hear. Well, let's get day 3 of the Saudi Snooker Masters underway by handing to our commentary team of Ken Doherty. But first, Dave Hendon.
Good afternoon. Day 3 of the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters here in Riyadh, and seed 17 to 48 coming in to take on the players already made it through. It's a big couple of days, of course, to try and get into the last 32, take on the top 16. Stuart Bingham for many years was a member of that group, had a poor season that was rescued in part, of course, at the Crucible, getting into the semi-finals of the World Championship right at the end. And Singzi Hao, very dangerous player, 19, he's already beaten Bingham, as we were hearing at the start this season. And of course he has had a chance already to get used to conditions. He beat Simon Blackwell in the last round 4-2. Still best of 7. It goes up to best of 9s tomorrow, where the respective winners will play each other in this round. And it'll be Jamie Jones or Anthony Hamilton for whoever wins this one. You were saying, Ken, you're quite right. He just loves playing. I was looking at his pro titles. He's won 15-7 outside the UK, so travelling is not a problem for Stuart.
No, not at all. I mean, I've known Stuart for a long, long time. He used to come up to Ilford Snooker Centre all those years ago when he was only just 15 years of age. He used to travel up from Basildon, and then when, of course, he passed the driving licence, he was up there quite a bit. So known him a long time, but yeah, just loves the game. And great ambassador for the game as well. You know, he loves travelling, loves going to new countries, playing in different venues, and he's been successful all over the world. He's going to be up against it today, though. Singzi Hao, as Stephen Hubbard said, he's a real natural talent, this young boy, based in Sheffield.
Yeah, this is his second year, so needs at the end of it to be in the top 64 to stay on. He's 78 now, costs massive money in this event, so a strong performance here in Riyadh will certainly help him to keep his tour card. Still only 19 years of age. There's some youngsters who've made it through to this stage. 3 17-year-olds, an 18-year-old, 3 19-year-olds, 2 20-year-olds. So, you know, on the other side of the coin, we've got Jimmy later, but it's great to see, isn't it, that some new faces, and that's the thing about this format, because it's tiered. In the early days, we do get to see them.
Yeah, look, Jimmy is like, he's older than 3 of those young boys put together. that's quite scary.
You can tell him that.
I will do for his chance. I'm not far behind them, to be honest. So, but no, it's great to see. I think that's the great thing about this week is that is like a new guard coming through. And snooker is in great hands. Lots of young players, very skillful, and playing at the top of the game. So it's great to see. It's very refreshing, and as I said, this young boy, very, very talented. And just as I say that, there you go. Commentator's course.
Well, it took a while deciding what to do. Decided to really attack, but didn't get the pot. He's always going to be going into the reds here and trusting a little bit to luck for position, but that's by the by. Didn't pot the red. He's playing one of the real heavy scorers here, Stuart Bingham. 9 maximums. He's closing in on 600 career centuries. That's his game when he's playing his best stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of his game, there's no doubt. Great cue ball control, Stuart Bingham. Always being a heavy scorer. Played so well at the World Championship, just fell short in the semi-final. But he's a big-time player. I mean, beat Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, on his way to that semi-final, when everybody thought that Ronnie was going to achieve the 8th World Championship. Stuart stopped him in his tracks and played superbly well. And he's one of these players, isn't he, David, that this week, is a wonderful opportunity for him, as indeed there's so many as I said, just on that periphery outside the top 16. It could really give them a wonderful boost for the rest of the season if he had a deep run here.
Yeah, I mean, there must be at least 30 players who you sort of think of as top 16 players who've been there before, or you know could get in. I mean, the Stewart, Stephen Maguire, you know, Jack, all these sort of guys. So yeah, first things first, try and get over this match, get some ranking points guaranteed, and then see what happens in the rest of the week.
Well, that's gone wrong. Didn't get into the cue ball deep enough to miss that first red. Wanted to go into the pack and hold for 2 reds into this bottom right corner pocket. He may still be on this red into the green pocket. He's been quite fortunate. And once again, well, they do call him Ballroom Bingham, and maybe that's the reason, because he's had a big slice of luck there.
Yeah, the second kiss, just keeping the cue ball close to the baulk cushion. Yeah, we've got the likes of, we saw them being introduced, of course, Tepchar and New, Ricky Walden, Anthony McGill, Robert Milkins, Chris Wakelin, some big hitters starting out here. Got Jimmy White against C. Jolwee after this match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, Hugh. I think a lot of people will be. It won't be a slow match, that one, for sure. but yeah, CJ Wee for me, yeah, one of those players that could go and have a great career, you know, in our game. He's got so much talent. Semi-finals of the World Championships a couple of years ago. Now, can he take this thread on and get on the black? Lovely shot, and a lovely little nudge on the black as well. Didn't play that, but it was a good enough pot to be deserved to be on the black.
So another chance he got away with that mistake initially, of course. Yeah, he'd only reached one quarter-final season actually last year until the Crucible, so that did rescue things to a degree. Of course, Jack Jones beat him then. Of course, Jack Jones getting to the final, got himself in the top 16. Similar could happen here for a player down the rankings.
Play on 3 reds here into this bottom right corner pocket. Anywhere left of that pink would do. Got to make sure when potting this red, leaves a nice angle on the black. That's okay. Just bounce it off one cushion, back for those 2 reds into the same pocket. Gone slightly awry. A little bit awkward, bridging over this pink. Just got enough for the cue ball just to stop him. Bridging right over it and safely in. Nice shot.
just know he'll have prepared properly as well. A few years ago, he took a family holiday to Devon, but he took his cue with him because he knew Andy Hicks lived down there, so he knew he could have a sneaky practice. That's the sort of guy he is. He just lives and breathes the game. And it's important, if things aren't going well for you, to keep that enthusiasm and not get too downcast.
Yeah, and he's been here for a few days. I've seen him in the practice round, in the practice room, getting the hours in with Chris Henry, his coach, mentor. Now, I'm just wondering, he could play for blue, or he could play for brown here as well. He's gone for blue, but it's a little bit more difficult from the blue here. I'm sure he has to. He's coming around to have a look at these two reds. Either you plant into the yellow pocket. If not, he's going to have to make some sort of connection on this little pack of 4 reds. He's played it well, and it's worked out okay.
Yeah, this is frame ball. It's been a good break. Second chance in the frame. Thunders it in. Yeah, be wary playing things you having lost to him in qualifying early this season. But maybe, in a way, that's done him a favour. He knows the sort of player he is. He knows what he has to do. Certainly if he's scoring, then Bingham, he's right up there with the very best. Well, he's missed that one, but 59 to the good, 51 on, and Singh is remaining in his chair. So Stuart Bingham then, entering the fray on day 3 here in Riyadh, has taken a 1-0 lead. So a strong start from Stuart Bingham in this 3rd round. It's still best of 7 for a place in the last 48. That's the round before the top 16 come in on Tuesday. Quite a few of them are here already. Seen Ronnie O'Sullivan, Mark Williams as well backstage. Well, not good. He's caught the knuckle. Well, this is a situation Stuart Bingham will absolutely love here. He's just having a look that when he puts this red above the black, does that open another red into the opposite corner pocket? You can see those 2 reds, they don't go, the one's just above the black, they don't pot into the left corner, so maybe one of these pots
into the right corner. And, ooh, has he gone too far? Has he gone too far? He has, I think. That's a mistake.
16.
A bad one. He'll be so disappointed there because really good opportunity to score heavily.
Yeah, black on its spot. You know, as a chance to just make a big break and really take a grip of the match. A few frames concluded as well around and about. Jimmy Robertson made a century, frame 1 against Fang Zhengyi. Tepchara Nu against Artemis Zizins of Latvia. That's an interesting one. Tepchara 1-0 up. Chris Wakeling 1-0 up on Robbie McGuigan, who's won 2 deciders so far. As this red goes near the corner, he wants to cover it. And he has done.
Well, I'll tell you what, this will be some shot. If you can make a cannon here, deep screw this red, just to the right of the black and try and nudge the red in. That's over the pocket. Oh, nearly. Great attempt. Almost made the connection. Any sort of connection on that red over the right corner and it would have gone in. Just didn't get enough screw on the cue ball. Watch this. Just missed it. But what an opportunity now for this young man to settle down. He had a chance in the first frame. Missed a relatively straightforward red. But wonderful chance for all these reds in open play. Get his cue arm going, get some points on the board.
His first season on tour. Last year it was all a learning curve. He did have a couple of good wins though. Graham Doty beat Fergal O'Brien, you know, really experienced players. But he's also coming up in the opening round against some real big hitters. He played Mark Selby in 2 events. Of course, Stuart Bingham in the International Championship. But this is a different format. This tiered system means that you're playing players nearer your standard early on, nearer your world ranking. So the big hitters are going to come in, but you get a chance to just find your feet a little bit before that.
Yeah, and I'm a big advocate of that, David, particularly for, you know, the bigger events and particularly even the overseas events. That sometimes for these players just coming on tour, they could be unlucky with the draws. You know, with the open format, they can run into a lot of the top 16 players, not get any ranking points. Just it can be a baptism of fire. But with this tiered system, they start to play players in the first couple of rounds that are around the same ranking, around the bottom end of the table, and it gives them a chance to get a few matches under their belt before they start playing the big hitters, the best players in the world. And I think it's a good system, and particularly for this tournament here, because there's so much money at stake.
Yeah, and obviously it's great to be seeded through to the last 32, but big pressure on those guys. Tuesday's going to be some day here when those top 16 come in, because defeat, no ranking points, there could be a few relegations. John Higgins actually could be one of them, and he's been in the top 16 for 29 years.
Yeah, that's the flip side, isn't it, of the bonus of being in the 16 and guaranteed to be in, what is it, the 4th or 5th round. But should you lose your first match, you get your money, but you don't get any ranking points, and it could cost you.
Well, an excellent chance now, if he can just keep cool, to win his first frame. As I say, he has won a match already, beat Simon Blackwell on one of the outside tables yesterday.
Could take the cue ball into the pack of 4 reds here. Yeah, nice shot. That develops a couple of reds into the open. And of course, he was always going to be on this red into the left corner pocket. So nice shot there. Good confident shot. Good play on the pink here. Pink or black. He's got a nice, calm demeanour around the table. As Stephen said, he sort of just slips into the position very naturally when he gets down on the shot. He's not rushed, not hurried, but he's still pretty quick pace. That was another nice little shot. He's got a nice touch. Nice cue action there. Just see the way he just slides in there. Nice stroke.
56. He was fortunate to cover the red over the pocket with the green. Bingham came close to knocking it in, but doesn't look like he's going to get back to the table unless something goes wrong quickly here. Tepchara knew already 2-0 up against Zizins.
64.
This has been a very impressive break. Just this black to leave Stuart Bingham needing the snooker. I don't think he'd be coming back to the table anytime soon, Stuart Bingham. Good response from the young man from China, Jing Zihao.
72.
And they might even possibly make a century here.
Two. 83. 88. 90.
I must say though, this has been a very impressive break. I said the cue ball on a string.
Yeah, like you say, he's just got on with it, not looked for problems. So battle joined.
97.
This for his second century of the season. Another great talent to come through from China. 19-year-old Sing Si Hao. With a wonderful break there. He was a little fortunate, as I say, when he covered the red over the right corner, but nothing lucky about the clearance he's made. 115 to level up at 1 each. Year-old Sing Si Hao of China's second season professional, 78 in the world, leads Stuart Bingham, the former world champion, 2-1, and good value for that lead, back-to-back centuries. So Bingham, who was looking good early in this match, suddenly up against it. He's only one frame behind, as I say, but it's just the way his opponent has won those frames that must concern him. And this is a short match, of course. He's only first to 4, so if he's to lose this one as well, he'd be in trouble.
Good length of the cue ball. Cover the reds with the green. Yeah, well, Stewart could play a containing safety shot, but if he could knock this red in, he'd be on the black nicely. And don't forget now, he's been kept cold for 2 frames. So this makes this attempt a little bit more difficult. Long way away. I don't think he's... Well, maybe there might be a red into the right centre. Yeah, when you've been kept in that chair, these type of shots a little bit more difficult, of course. Red into the right centre. Could be nicely on the blue. Ooh. Is there a plant? There certainly is. Oh, didn't want that kiss on the blue, but nice plant to get himself started, but cue ball not great for one of these ball colours. Well, it's just about on this red, just below the pink. I can get back on the black here, or the pink here. In fact, he was playing for a little nudge off the pink there. That's why he's played it a little bit harder. Didn't get the nudge off the pink, so ended up on the side cushion. Yeah, good recovery, good cueing, but he's going to need another good pot here to keep the break going. This is very missable indeed. I'm going to be so accurate here. Yeah, not easy those, not easy at all.
No, it's one of those, it might have gone in day 1, but we're into day 3 here. Shouldn't have gone in. Catches the cushion. It all started to go wrong in frame 2. He was in first, Bingham, and just played one bad positional shot, and really since then, not a lot's gone right.
great angle on this black. Trying to force it in, trying to force something to happen, but well, that's gone wrong. Nothing straightforward. He has a possibility of a double. Tried to hit the middle red. As we look at those three reds almost in a line just above the black, he's tried to hit the middle red of those. Yeah. Is he going to play the double? Looks like it. But it looks pretty close. There's the kiss on the black. Almost.
Just a reminder, Jimmy White back on this table after this match against Si Joel Wee. That's a really interesting one. Clash of different generations. Tonight, Jack Lazowski up first. And then Ryan Day against Stan Moody. Jack's playing Andrew Paget. But yeah, Ryan Day, young Stan, who beat Liam Pullen. Of course, he's been a rival of his for a while. They're still very young, but played a lot on the junior circuit. So a mistake from Singh. But we saw Bingham come around, he looked at the potting angle, but he just started to struggle a little bit in this match.
Yeah, nice out, but it just stroked it in, but this requires good cueing, this pink. Not easy. Not easy at all. Now a chance for Stewart here to redeem himself, try and get something going, get that cue arm going. Just no good. Needs a big bounce. Well, that's a poor shot.
Well, when you consider there's basically 5 colours in that area of the table, and somehow managed not to land on any of them. Just had to accept it, play the snooker. Rory Thor of Malaysia has gone 2-1 up on Robert Milkins on table 2. Robbie McGuigan, he's won 2 deciders so far. He's 1 each with Chris Wakelin, the former shootout champ. Pace was pretty good, just didn't quite get the direction. Graham Mason, the referee in charge here. John Pellew last night, he refereed the Rossmuir Amir Sarkosh match, which finished just after 2:30 in the morning. But mercifully for John, he's not refereeing this session. really much pacier than the first attempt. Yeah, so this red pot's
Well, that was beautifully executed. Stuart Bingham played it with a lot of right hand side, check it back for the black. Just watch the cue ball as it hits this side cushion. You think it's gone to the black beautifully. Back in prime position now. Eventually he's going to need an angle on the black to just disturb those three reds just above the black, bring them into play, and if he's going to win the frame from this position. And that's not great. It's a little bit shy of where he wanted to be with the cue ball. I don't think he can stay on the black here, so he may have to go up for blue or pink. So got more loose red after this red here. I'm just looking at the scoreboards. He's 32 points so far. Red and blue 38. And even if he did take the loose red, he's going to still need one of those reds that are tied up. So still a little bit of hope left for Zhang Zhihao to come back to the table, but obviously ball is in Stuart's court here. He has the advantage. Left himself a nice angle on this blue. He can just position that cue ball just anywhere behind the red that's in the open. This looks pretty good. Excellent shot. I think trying to break up these three reds off the pink would be a little bit more difficult. I think if he could screw back for the black, maybe lift himself a nice angle on the black, but it looks like it's going to be the pink. But he's not 100% certain. He could overhit this cue ball, not leave himself any angle at all. Now let's see the angle. He's got down quick, so it must be pretty good. Yeah, it's not too bad. And that's the problem. I thought the black was the better ball to go into those three reds. He's not on anything. Still a glimmer of hope for Zhang Zhihao in this frame.
Yeah, exactly. 45 in front, just needed to get on a red and it would have been 2-2. Yeah, he's just checking the scores. The score was quite high up in this arena. This venue didn't exist 3 weeks ago before this tournament began. It was specially erected for this Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters.
Yeah, it's quite incredible, isn't it? I saw some pictures and little videos of it. It was just like a complete dirt track 3 weeks ago when it was erected. I must say, the venue was superb. Great facilities for the players, great practice area, great little players area, VIP area as well. Food is good. Oh, this cue ball's going close to this corner pocket. Oh.
Yeah, there's a good mood backstage, it's got to be said. A lot of positivity, although obviously as players get knocked out, maybe that goes down a bit. But I think the fact that everyone's here at this venue has made a big difference. There's no pre-qualifying in a leisure centre.
Well, that stopped Stewart in his tracks, that little bump of the red off the middle pocket. Have a look at that for a shot. But yeah, I totally agree. Ever since I've been here from day one, and even in the practice area, there's a feel-good factor. The smiles on the players' faces. They're loving the venue, loving the tournament, loving the hospitality. It's all good so far. Oh, it's gone wrong. It is gone wrong. And what a chance. You saw the disappointment there, Mr. Stewart. Don't often see that. He's normally pretty calm. But he's absolutely livid with himself. What a chance for a steal. Can this young man hold himself together? We saw what he did in the 2 frames that he's won. 2 lovely centuries, but well, I think if he could clear up from here, it'd be a better break than those 2 century breaks, and it would mean more. There's going to be pressure on it. But he has to hold himself together.
Yeah, he's looking at that green and brown. Whether the green pots past the brown, I'm not sure. Otherwise, they're going to have to be developed.
Yeah, people are always asking, well, how many shots are you thinking ahead? Well, in this case, he's thinking of 2 reds, 2 blacks. That's 4 shots. Yellow is 5. And then yellow to green is 6. So basically 6 shots ahead he's contemplating here. Checking the score just to see if he takes a blue or pink with the last red, he's got enough points, which he has. Don't think I'd like to take the pink here. I think maybe the blue would be an easier ball for yellow. Oh, what has he done here? What has he done here? He's tried to get on the brown, has he? Well, he tried to get on the brown, but not between yellow and brown. He's been very fortunate there. Gone wrong. It was okay, not a bad idea to get on the brown so you could open up the green, but I just think maybe it might have been the wrong shot. Get on the blue, nice angle on the yellow, could have disturbed green and brown. Still be able to pot this yellow.
Well, we might have to get rid of that ball run nickname for Stuart Bingham and give it to his opponent. He's had a few touches being played round and about. You can see there Chris Wakelin. He's it's actually 2-1 down to Robbie McGuigan. None of the matches yet over in this session, some tight ones actually. And of course ours, very much up for grabs. 2-2, just waiting for Stuart Bingham to return. There's Dr. Nasser Saab Al-Shamari, who is the president of the Saudi Billiards and Snooker Federation, one of the partners for this event with the Ministry of Sport, working with Matchroom and World Snooker Tour to put on this historic tournament. And the players are all aware of how historic it is. That's why there's a lot of pressure on. Beautiful pot.
Well, that was good, wasn't it? And he's on the black as well, which is great. Nicely negotiated the black and that little cannon on the red, just to hold for the red into this left corner.
Well, he got into this position straight away in frame 2, but it went wrong quickly. If you can just keep some control, build up a nice break, suddenly the balance of power shifts back in his favour. One thing he certainly got, of course, on his side is experience. Although things were going against him, he knows that can happen. He kept his discipline in that last frame, ultimately won it. Certainly when it came to a safety battle, he was much the superior. Yeah, another terrific red to keep the break going. He knew it was in immediately as well. It was on target.
Now, has this red gone too far into this bottom right corner pocket? Good pot on the black, good screw back. Open a few reds. Just hoping that red that's close to this bottom right corner is potable, but it doesn't look like it is. May have one into the left centre. You can stay on the black. Nice shot. And this will be 5 reds, 5 blacks. Man who's not totally adverse to making maximum breaks in professional tournaments. Already made 9 in his illustrious career. But once again, of course, frame a priority.
Yeah, it would be something though, wouldn't it? I mean, there's only Sullivan, Higgins and Hendry in double figures for maximums. When Sing Si Hao was in the sort of early throws a couple of frames ago, I'm not sure whether he's aware of the bonus prize or not. I suspect Bingham is. So he's going to try and stay on the black as long as he can. While at the same time, of course, not endangering the frame too much. That's the balance. Because obviously there's riches to be earned the further you go in the tournament.
Well, there's no doubt it's in his mind. Stayed on the black there. And still a few loose reds available. Those little 4 reds there just above the black, if you could make one cannon on the outside red, the left of the bunch, that would certainly open at least the bottom red into the corner, and when potting that it would open the other 2. So this could be the key shot here into this little pack of 4 reds. That's okay. Never shirks the opportunity to develop reds in a break, Stuart Bingham. That's why it makes him such a prolific break builder and one of the best in the game. Oh, needs the cue ball to slow down. Oh no, no. He'd be so disappointed. Oh, that is such a shame.
Yeah, I mean the reds are sitting nice, aren't they? But as you say, the white just kept running. What a sickler. And of course the frame's not won yet. If only you could rewind in real life like you can now these days on the TV.
Doesn't have all of the cue ball here. If you chip the blue onto the side cushion, it would give him a little bit of insurance. Oh. Oh, I don't know what he's going for there. Was he going for the yellow? Did he call yellow? Oh. Wow. What a mistake. Now, this would be interesting as we watch this shot again. I'm not quite sure what he was doing. Was he trying to hit the yellow? Was he trying to... Yeah. He obviously called a foul, so he's obviously going for the yellow, wasn't he?
I mean, it's just unravelled, isn't it? In 2 shots from going from being on for a maximum, now the clearance is on for his opponent.
Yeah, the difficult red was the one that we see near this left-hand side cushion. For a left-hander, as Xing is, that won't be too difficult for him. He won't need the rest for that shot if he was going to play it into this bottom left corner pocket. So, what an opportunity. This is where temperament really comes to the fore. These type of situations where you come to the table, you're 50 odd behind, but you have the opportunity to steal the frame. This is where you really need to keep your composure, your temperament in check, and your emotions and nerves. All the top players do it all the time. Frames like this that sort of
15.
make you into an even better player. He failed. He had an opportunity in the last frame, if you remember, and he failed when he was given the chance to steal the frame. What can he do this time? Massive moments in this match.
Yeah, I mean, Bingham has gone from being in complete control of the frame to being in bits in his seat. Certainly, if the clearance is made, he will be. But it hasn't been. He's missed the pink. He nearly missed a black a couple of shots ago, actually, so maybe he wasn't feeling quite as cool as certainly earlier in the match. He has missed that, and Bingham has very quickly come to the table here, already with a useful lead, relieved that he is presented with this chance to go 3-2 up. He will need, after this black, another red. It's such a dicey match, this, for the seeded player. No ranking points if you lose. You're playing someone who's already played in. It's best of 7, so it's short. He just wants to get it out of the way, then can maybe start to relax into the event. Another check of the scores. Snooker's needed already. This black should make it 3-2 for sure.
Yeah, twice. Xing has had chances now to steal frames. Match could have been over, but he's going to fall one behind with 2 to play, possibly. And that will hurt him. There's no doubt about that. Bingham will be mightily relieved.
He really will. He was out of his hands, of course, as Xing was setting about the clearance, but he missed that pink to left middle, and Stuart Bingham did the rest. He leads 3-2. He needs one more for victory. So, a bit of a seesaw battle, but Stuart Bingham has his nose in front. 3-2, needs one more for victory. The first result of the session has come through. Tepchara Nu of Thailand has ended the run of Artemis Sissins, the teenager from Latvia, 4-1. Now, what has happened here?
Fine.
Yeah, try and power the brown in to get into the reds, but just didn't have the direction, so back to safety. Reminder again, next match, Jimmy White and Si Jiahui. Every time I've been in that practice room, Jimmy's been on one of the tables. Incredible devotion he has to the sport.
Yeah, he absolutely loves it. But he can't wait to get out there now, play Si Jiahui. We spoke about a match he played against him earlier on in the season, just narrowly missed out 5-4. CJ Howie was the conqueror that day. Oh, there's a mistake, needs cover. This time I don't think he has it. And that could be very costly. Could stay on the black here, Stuart. It's a tricky shot. He's got to find a little window of a gap with the cue ball to stay on the black. I'm surprised he didn't play for black there. He tried to hedge his bets and go up for blue, and it's gone wrong. Wrong shot choice for me. And that's part of being nervous. I've shown a little bit of nervousness. Sometimes you play the percentage shot when it's not really the right shot. But young Jing Zihao is making mistake after mistake now. I think he feels that he had his chance and he's missed it. That last frame, the frame before that, couldn't hold himself together, and now his sort of head has gone down slightly.
Yeah, again, he's just slightly lost the cue ball. Trying to manoeuvre himself back into ideal position and set up a good chance to get this one. Not to be.
Well, it was a good pot with a lot of pace, and to be honest, he's been a bit unfortunate there. Could have easily left himself an easy red into one of the pockets, but some very unfortunate. Now, what can he dig out here? There's a possible red up into the maybe the green pocket, but very, very risky. was well picked out, wasn't it? Beautiful red into the right centre pocket. What a chance now for Stewart.
Yes, if he can just keep control, it's a great chance to get it won. And if he's going to move forward and move back towards the top 16, this match will be one of the most important he plays all season, because were he to lose it, he gets no points. If he wins it, of course, he has the chance with a run to start heading in the right direction again. And Stuart Bingham is a great champion of our sport, world champion. He's won 15 professional titles. We saw him nearly get to another world final in the spring. He's still got it in him. He's got the belief, he's got the love, certainly, for the sport, and he's got the determination to get back amongst the elite. But as I say, it starts with this match, and indeed, I guess, with this visit here to get it won.
Yeah, you can see there's a little spring in the step has come back to Stuart Bingham. He senses the winning line in this match is fast approaching.
31.
Oh, wow. Well, would you believe it? Would you believe it? Anywhere left or right of the blue, and he's in perfect position. And now, well, he's got to look at this. I mean, look at the margin for error he has. That's just a bit of tension in the back arm. There's nothing else will cause that. Great recovery though. Very nice indeed. Struggled in, but it went in nonetheless, and now. Those 3 loose reds. 21 points. He's got to get at least 20 points with those 3 loose reds before he leaves his opponent needing a snooker. Oh, once again, you thought maybe after potting that good blue that would be the end, but no, not at all.
Yeah, he was just slightly hampered, wasn't he? The red just under his waistcoat just made it slightly more difficult, but even so, you know, when he potted that blue, you felt surely that was it. It's not. 31 in it. Still plenty on. Got to be said though, Zinger's gone off the boil a bit. I mean, he made back-to-back centuries earlier on, but he had chances, didn't he, in a couple of frames, didn't take them. It's not quite as assured now. That red wasn't really close.
No, I think it's sort of totally deflated him. Those couple of frames where he had chances to steal the frame and he faltered, and his confidence has evaporated almost from. Oh, good pot from Stewart.
Yes, even if he doesn't win it here, it's starting to look like he might get enough chances to do so. to keep this going. So 46 the lead with the pink. Yeah, big colour and snooker required. Putting 53 in front with 51 on this pink. Singh then has the chance to come back and play for it, but he's in one himself.
Yeah, good experience shot there. Didn't want to take the red on for fear that he might have missed it, left it in the jaws and given his opponent a chance. Keeping the pressure on him here. I'd like to get those reds up into the bulk area because that would make Jing Zihao's task a lot more difficult as well.
Just quickly, we've had another result. Lu Hongyu has beaten Ricky Walden 4-1. Yeah, I think you put it well, Ken. He's sort of deflated, hasn't he, as the match has gone on. I mean, the back-to-back centuries speak for themselves, but a couple of frames that he didn't put away when he had the chance, just lost a bit of confidence. Whereas Bingham, when things have been going wrong, has just kept his head up.
I think that fourth frame was the big turning point, wasn't it? Where Bingham missed and Jing had the chance to step in and make a clearance. Went up for the brown when he could have played for an easier blue and got on the yellow and just went wrong from there. Oh, didn't expect Bingham to miss that. But yeah, it just went wrong from Zing there. I mean, he showed, you know, wonderful skills in those two frames where he knocked in the centuries. But once he missed that chance, sort of everything sort of went downhill for him.
Well, he needs this in. And even then, he's going to need a couple of snookers. In it goes. So he's 48 behind, 43 on now. 2 snookers needed.
Right.
What was the chance with the red on? Andrew Paget last night against Alexander Ursenbacher was in that position. He was 45 behind with 35 on. So 1 red on, but he got the foul and the free ball. He won not only the frame but the match. That wasn't the deciding frame, but it was a very important one, obviously. Well, I don't know why he's trying to pop the red. As I say, you leave it on, chance of the snooker and the free ball. As it is, he's put it over the pocket. And Stuart Bingham has put it in the pocket. He'll be relieved. It was a bit dicey at times, but Stuart Bingham used his experience. Sing Jihao made back-to-back centuries early in the match, but it's Ball Run Bingham, the former world champion, who books his place in the last 48, the 4th round here in Riyadh. He's the winner by 4 frames to 2.
Our first match on the TV table this afternoon, we were treated to an ebb and flow match. Stuart Bingham, the 2015 world champion, delighted to be through to round 4, but it wasn't made easy. Very much ebb and flow. He went up early doors, 2 tons from Zing, by the way, but Stuart managed to dig in there. Delighted to be joined by him now. How was that for you?
Good now. It was a bit nerve-wracking, obviously, all the way through that, really. 1-0 up. Felt like I played, sort of started off really good. I remember he played his safety shot. I see a red going towards the pocket. I thought chance to go 2-0. He obviously covered it by the green, and then 2 shots later I'm 2-1 down. He's had 200s, and you do think the worst. So to sort of be standing there winning 4-2, over the moon.
Something that Stephen pointed out to us at the top of the show is the fact that there's real jeopardy for these matches, especially for the seeds coming in. No points if you lose, lots of points if you win. Was that on your mind at all?
Yeah, without a doubt. 2-1, like you say, he had a chance to go 3-1 as well. So, yeah, you're sort of thinking in the back of your head that coming here, obviously you're getting money for turning up, but no prize, no ranking event, ranking point. So, yeah, but like you say, to sort of get over that hurdle now, it's sort of, now I feel like I'm in the tournament.
And Zing's a serious player, by the way, Stephen.
Yeah, 2 tons, to go 2-1 down. He is. I like how he plays. He's an aggressive, natural player, and he just looks so good on the shot, doesn't he? But still very raw. To go 2-1 up, I think temperament and mentality has played a big part today. These best of 7s are short sprints, and at 2-1 down, you may have been feeling the worst, but he showed his class in the end, and that's what got him through.
Where are you at the moment, mate? Because you seem like a happy guy again on the table. 25 in the world, but you're almost looking like that's not really your rank, and you should be very much a seed.
Well, it is what it is. I've had a couple of bad years, a few things off the table, just maybe just harping me sort of like not playing really well, but like I say, I've sort of cleared all that up, and obviously hopefully going strength to strength. So yeah, like I say, into round, what are we saying, 4?
Absolutely right, and whatever you're doing with Chris Henry, it's keeping that smile on your face.
I know, yeah. Obviously having a good relationship. He got me going in at the Worlds this year. So yeah, obviously kept going, and like I say, long may it continue.
I wouldn't have asked you this before the match, but now you play the winner of Jamie Jones and Anthony Hamilton. How do you see that match going in terms of the Jamie Hamilton?
Whoever it is going to be tough. I played Jamie a couple of weeks ago in China. I ended up beating him 5-3. Very good match. So obviously it could be that again. Anthony, he's a class act. I think it's just gone 2-2. So whoever it's going to be a tough match. Got to play, if not better than I did today.
Also, final question. We said at the top of the show you love the game. Is there anyone who loves snooker more than you?
If there is, show me. I'll have a battle with him.
There isn't.
Stuart, it's great to see you happy. It's great to see you playing well, and we'll see you in round 4. Just a reminder that was the TV table that Stuart was competing on. 7 other matches taking place as well, and just to bring you right up to date with all of the scores. So Tepchai Unu is one of the men through. He managed to do that in fairly fine fettle, as did Leo Hong Hu, the 2023 English Open semi-finalist. Now, really interestingly, just avert your attention to Rory Thor and Robert Milkins. Rory Thor coming into this 84 in the world. What a turnaround that would be. The man from Malaysia, an absolutely fantastic performance. But in terms of the TV table, so we've seen the first man through. That is Stuart Bingham. Brilliant performance against the 78th in the world, Zing Zishao. And another China player taking place. Si Jiawei takes on Jimmy White. Absolutely first-class match that is going to be. Now, you're meant to be unbiased in a game like this, but I'm going to just say we'd love to see the Whirlwind do well here. Although, good luck to Si Jiahui, a phenomenally talented player. As Stephen and I were talking ahead of this one, Si Jiahui, a man who went all the way to the semi-final just over a year ago at the Worlds. But as for Jimmy White, he caught up with our Phil.
Jimmy, you've been a pro for over 40 years now, but this tournament must be right up there with the very best you've been to.
Make no mistake, I remember going to China with Matchroom, Steve Davis and Barry Hearn in the early 80s. You know, we thought, well, can we crack China? Can we make it possible for snooker to take off there? And look at it now, you've got some of the top players in the world, over 120,000 snooker clubs. What the Kingdom has done here, the Ministry of Sport have brought the whole tour over, so it gives the players, the amateurs, a chance to learn, watch how the main players practice. We've got great facilities. Ronnie O'Sullivan's opening an academy here, so you know, and we've got a contract here for 10 years, so who knows, you might see a player coming from the Gulf soon.
And 2 wins already for you.
Yeah.
You must be really enjoying yourself.
Yeah, you know, my game's in good shape. My game's in good shape for quite a while, but you know, with me at my age, it's about focusing and staying in the moment. But I'm really enjoying my stuff. You know, I got a tough match with Si Jiahui, but I played him already this season. I lost 5-4. I played really well. It's inspired me. So, listen, if you're going to win a tournament like this, you've got to beat the best.
I had a very interesting quote from you, I think it was yesterday, saying you still believe that your A game is good enough to win matches. Do you think you'll need your A game against C?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's one of the, for me, he's one of the great players of the future. Great potter, great cue action, great temperament. Yeah, you know, I have to have my A game to beat him for sure.
And one final general question. What keeps you going? Is it just a general love of the game?
I love the game. The game still fascinates me. I still play well. You know, the day I think I can't win, I stop playing.
All the very best today.
Thanks, Phil.
Lovely. Thanks, Jim.
I asked Stuart Bingham, is there any player who likes snooker more than him? Maybe Jimmy White is the only man who can contend for that one. But in terms of Jimmy White against Si Jiahui, on paper, you'd expect Si to win. But Jimmy believes it. At Jimmy's best, he can beat him. What does he need to do to get across the line?
Well, you know, the modern game now, you have to score heavy. But what Jimmy has got in his favour is he's been a professional since 1980. He's forgotten more about snooker than I'll ever know, probably. So, you know, he's got vast experience on his side, but he will have to score heavier. Si Jiahui, you know, he's got all the makings of a top player. It's going to be a tough game for Jimmy, but he run him close in the qualifiers not long ago, so there'll be fond memories and, you know, that possible fire in his belly to maybe get one over on him today.
We absolutely can't wait for this one. It will be fascinating. In a taxi on the way here, Stephen was saying it's amazing how focused Jimmy still is. He loves the game. Let's find out how he'll play as he takes on Si Jiahui. So let's bring the players out.
Okay then, so it's our second match of the day about to begin. I think it's one that everyone has been waiting for. It's a battle of the generations. Snooker's generation game, if you like.
Is head your choice?
You know, Jimmy White played Fred Davis as a professional. Fred was born in 1913. His opponent today was born in 2002. He has been such an integral part of snooker history, and he continues to make history, White. And if he were to win today, well, what a story that would be. That said, though, overcoming Si Jiahui will be difficult. White knows it, he's a realist, but I think, while it might be difficult, it's certainly not an impossibility.
Joey will break. Thank you. The first Frank. Si Jiahui to break.
Si Jiahui, a player who plays very attractively and at his best can be a real handful.
Yeah, he's definitely got all the ingredients, hasn't he, Si Jiahui, to go right to the top of the game. He's a fantastic young talent still, with a great temperament and a great all-round game. Jimmy White has certainly got his work cut out today.
He's such a popular figure, White, particularly back in the UK. If he were to win this match, I'll tell you what, it would be extremely newsworthy. And it would set up a meeting with another well-known figure, 2006 world champion Graham Dott, who's had a bye into the next round because sadly Sam Craigie is injured, had to withdraw.
1.
Oh, and a brilliant opening red from Si Jiahui. Such a good middle pocket player as well, from very acute angles, always fancies them.
Everyone comes here with an agenda. Si Jiahui knows a deep run in this tournament, and he could be a member of the top 16 quite easily. World number 22 at the moment.
8. 15. 16.
So, good chance now to get into the pack of reds. We're looking to try and get into that pink, nice and full. Just try and split the reds, keep the cue ball in open play. Well, he's missed the black.
Si Jiahui, 16.
So, first let off for Jimmy White. That was a good scoring chance. Ooh, detected a bit of a jump from that black off the spot. Left the bed of the table. May have had a heavy contact. Did miss it thick. Oh, that's a brilliant red from Jimmy. Nicely struck, and the miss black from Si Jiahui may be costly because he's done a little bit of the legwork for Jimmy here. Opened a few reds up.
This table is playing beautifully, and I think it caught White out there, because normally if a player misjudges a shot, they know immediately. When he struck that yellow, he thought he was okay, but look where the cue ball just trundled onto. And these shots to middle look relatively straightforward on your screens, but they are most certainly not. Narrow angle into the pocket there, Stephen, and playing at that pace. What a cracker.
Yeah, that really was a brilliant shot from Jimmy White. As you say, there wasn't a big opening for that middle pocket there. You know, that would have been a tough shot to just drop in. Played it at pace. You've got to be so accurate. No, and again, he's lost the cue ball here. Well, he's a long, long way away from where I presume he wanted to be. Possible early nerves for Jimmy, a little bit of tension in the arm perhaps. Yeah, and it made an awful lot of difference because Jimmy wanted to be 8-10 inches behind that red. He was a good few feet, and that made it missable.
Just a hint of movement on the shot, that's all it takes.
1.
But again, cue ball control not where he wanted it, leaving something to be desired with that. Shaky start from Sijawi.
Yeah, a little bit of a shaky start from both players actually. These matches, they're all massive in this tournament. You know, I don't care what the players will tell you, they'll all be thinking about the prize money. And the fact that as each round progresses, the seeded players start to come into play, having to win the matches to get the ranking points, it all adds to the tension. Jimmy White, of course, has already come through 2 matches, so should be settled into this event, but being out on table 1, playing against a seed, you know, he wants to get off to a good start, doesn't want to put in a poor performance. He's a showman.
1.
Arrived here after practicing in Bahrain for a while. And from the start he looked sharp. Beat Mohammed Shahab of the UAE 4-2. Then Andrew Higginson 4-1.
Well, he struck that about as nice as he could have hoped, really. He got far enough down the table to be on this red. Yeah, and another nicely played shot. So now Jimmy White has the chance to win this opening frame, and he'll know it. Just be taking an extra second now just to steady himself. These short sprints, it's so important to get off to a good start.
The way this table is playing, I think the majority of positional misjudgments will be when you overrun things. It looks a delight, Stephen.
Yeah, all week the conditions have looked good, and coming into this event before we'd even seen a ball being hit, I just fancied the conditions being really nice. Very hot here in Saudi Arabia, but there's not a lot of humidity in the air, which, if there is humidity, it can often make the tables play damp, play quite heavy. It's very dry, which can encourage nice conditions. And the players are so good now. If you've got good conditions, you fancy the standard being sky high. But in the same breath, it can also catch you out at times, as we've seen on a couple of occasions in this break alone from Jimmy.
The kiss not ideal, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but now he is slightly out of position. He glances up at the scoreboard. He knows he's not over the line just yet. It was the shot prior to the blue that affected this shot because he's nowhere near where he intended to be.
Jimmy White, 39.
Not dissimilar from the red he missed a little earlier. That was a touch more difficult. So a useful lead, but not decisive.
Yeah, and the consolation is he's not left anything straightforward for Si Jiahui. So just the safety shot. Looking to try and use the green as the snookering ball. Hasn't managed that, but where he's put the red ball, he's controlled the object ball nicely there.
C knows from recent experience that White remains highly competitive. They played each other in the first round of the Xi'an Grand Prix. C was relieved to win 5-4. C led 3-1 and 4-3. White produced a vintage 62 clearance to snatch the 8th frame on the black, but C dominated the 9th and final frame. Result to tell you about: the rookie professional from Northern Ireland, Robbie McGuigan, is out of the event. He's been beaten 4-2 by Chris Wakelin, who's had a very solid start to the season.
Well, he needed some help from a bought colour there, Si Jiahui, and he didn't get any. Caught that red too thin. And now hand on table for Jimmy White. He'll be going for this long red. He's got options of reds to go at. Right corner, left corner. Just take your pick. It's going to be left corner then. So another one good piece of cueing. It could be the opener. Yeah, good pot. Gave everything to the pot there. Knew he was going into the black. Wasn't really able to control it. But what he has got control of is the table.
Now, when White turned professional in 1980, the shot of choice here most likely would have been a roll-up behind the yellow. Did have the option of the brown to middle, but decides he's the man who's in control of this frame, so why not keep control? But he was a little clumsy there, I thought.
Yeah, it's one of them. You're trying to get tight in behind the yellow, and then just as you're about to play it, you sort of tell yourself, well, don't underhit it. Make sure you actually hit the yellow. Make sure it gets there. So much so that he didn't even get the snooker, so it was more than clumsy, it was a poor shot. And I bet now he wishes he'd have taken that brown on. Oh, where's this red going? Oh, it's okay, but has he left one for Jimmy? This may be too close for comfort, where this red has gone next to the cue ball. Can he just jab down on this and pot this red to middle? Is it going to get there? Is it going to get there? Oh, no.
I'll tell you what, that might have reached, and just at the end it seemed to catch a finger mark and veer off to the right. Hit that near jaw. Had that stayed online, I think there was enough pace.
And he can get the red out as well here.
1.
Is he on one to the middle? I'm not sure he is. So a possible reprieve for Jimmy White. But for an outrageous pot here from C and position.
CJ 1.
So Jimmy White can breathe a sigh of relief there. He's on the last red, which is frame ball now. I tell you what, that was very close to staying on the table.
And Jimmy knows it as well. Look, the little smile, that tells you everything. His heart must have skipped a beat there as he watched that rattle. But it's gone in and he'll be mighty relieved.
Jimmy White 1.
Yeah, because C now needs a couple of snookers. Surely that's that now.
Jimmy White 2.
36 the difference. 25 on, so 3 snookers required. Of course, John Spencer, the late 3 times world champion, once got 5 snookers in a frame against Jimmy.
And we saw a match last night right here be won from someone needing 3 snookers. Andrew Paget, 3-2 down to Alexander Erzenbacher, got the 3 snookers and then won the decider on the black.
Now that's walking a tightrope, isn't it?
Yeah, you've pretty much got, well, you've got a lot more than 1 foot in the next round when you're in that position, but it just goes to show you, you're never over the line until that hand is shaken.
And as snooker folk, with a match like that, you always tend to think not how the winner is feeling, but how the loser is feeling. He must have been sick.
Yeah, and it's a long flight home, isn't it? In such a big event. You know, you'll be stewing over that one for weeks. This is a lovely target in this corner. In fact, wherever you look on the table, Sijawi has got a lot of big targets to lay snookers, so Jimmy won't feel all that comfortable just yet.
Yeah, that frame against John Spencer was remarkable. I think you can actually access it on YouTube, although I don't think Jimmy would want to. Yeah, Spencer got the snookers he needed and ended up winning the frame. All doubt removed now.
Seven. Jimmy White 7 and a frame.
For the many fans of the Whirlwind, it's all white so far. Jimmy leads 1-0. Welcome back to Riyadh and welcome back to the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters. It is day 3 and the headliner, as he's been for decades now on many occasions, Jimmy White. Can he get through? Can the 62-year-old clear another significant hurdle? Well, from his perspective, it's 1 down, 3 to go. I can tell you this, Scotland's Anthony McGill, semi-finalist at the Crucible. He's been beaten 4-1 by Ashley Carty. The Yorkshireman playing really nicely this season so far. Carty tomorrow now in the last 48 will take on Liu Hongyu, who overcame 3-time ranking event titleist Ricky Walden today, 4-1. Other news as well, Malaysia's Rory Thor. What a win for him, beating Rob Milkins 4-3. Milkins fought back to force a decider from 3-1 down, but Thor had the last laugh. Thor's hammer descends.
So Jimmy very much settled down in this match now. He's got that frame on the board. Be looking to try and just ease up a fraction, but he's hit that safety shot too thick. He's had a massive result there, getting back to baulk. He could have quite easily cannoned into 1 of 2 reds. How's he found that gap? Of course, we do expect Sijawi to spark into action at some stage in this match, but there is added pressure for him being the seed. That's a really well struck long red. He's a very good ball striker.
Of course, last year made a name for himself by reaching the semi-finals of the World Championship on his debut, no less. Overcame the likes of Sean Murphy, Rob Milkins, Anthony McGill.
8.
Some thought, though, after being beaten by Luca Brissell in the semi-finals, 17-15 after being 14-5 ahead, that might affect him badly. Well, not so, because last season he went deeper into a ranking event than ever before, getting to the final of the German Masters.
15.
Where, in the semi-finals, he defeated the current world champion, Kyron Wilson. It took Judd Trump to deny him the title. That's how good Si Jiahui is.
21.
Well, he took the chance there to screw off the red and black, just trying to push that black into play. Didn't keep the black in play as much as he would have liked. But he is on this blue to the yellow pocket.
Results coming in now thick and fast.
27.
In a battle of two former European Masters champions, Jimmy Robertson edged Fan Zhengyi 4-3.
$28.
So if Si Jiahui is straight enough on this red to right corner, they can now play on the black.
34.
He'd love to be dead straight on it. He may have just a slightly high angle. Yeah, that's why he chose to top it through off the black. So it's going to be pink to middle. Play for the loose red on the right. Again, just got down as if that was over the pocket. That was a real tough pot from where he was. Just completely backs himself. Yeah, that's a brilliant shot. Very well controlled. The reason why I think Si Jiahui has got all the ingredients to go right to the top is this. He just cracks on with it. Plays very much on instinct. Backs himself, fully commits. He's a lovely player to watch.
Yes, he emits the illusion of nonchalance, but of course it is an illusion. He badly wants to win and make an impact. But having a steely temperament, invaluable.
48.
Showed that at the Crucible this year, first round against Mark Williams. It was a cracking match. Williams looked as though he might get out of jail. C played a brilliant decider.
Yeah, actually one of the best deciders I've seen for a long time. The break he made in that final frame was incredible. As he goes into the pack with not much fortune, he's stuck. Well, he's looking at something here. Red to green pocket, maybe? Oh, what a shot that is.
56.
The pot was tough enough, but to try and get the cue ball out from so close to the object ball, I suppose if you're being critical, he's not nice on this black, but the fact he's still at the table is impressive. Oh, what a pot that is as well. Just refusing to give up in this break.
63. $64.
Continue the break now.
Hold my chalk.
This has been extraordinary.
You want to say it again, don't you?
Yeah, I think I will say it again. Continue the break now. I'll get it right eventually.
Oh, how close was that?
69.
Wow, what a break he's made there.
And of course, the excellent blue he knocked in was frame ball. He's now 69 ahead with 5 reds and therefore 67 left on the table.
Jimmy straight away coming down this black end of the table, just doing his homework, checking out what's available. All the reds are available, and if he can get nicely on the black from this shot, he could be away.
1.
It looks a very good line, and it is a very good pace. So we're looking to take 3 reds and blacks after this black. Potentially play the snooker from the last red.
$8. 9. 16. 17.
Again, similar to the first frame, this time it's Si Jiahui that won't be feeling all that comfortable. He'll fancy Jimmy to pot black, red, black, and then play a good shot to get a snooker on the final red. He does have the option, while he is down this
20.
business end of the table, to just take 2 reds, 2 blacks here. Play up for yellow,
25.
pot the yellow, and then play the snooker from the green in behind the brown, because the green is slightly off its spot. I think that's what he may do. The reason for that is he needed a black off this last red anyway, and he's got the chance to get those points here. Now you see a little look up towards the balk area. Pop the red, black, play for the yellow, probably pop the yellow, play the snooker on the green.
33. $40. Jimmy White, 40.
Should be the conclusion of the frame now. All of those wonderful pots, and then he misses the yellow of utter simplicity.
And I think Jimmy will pop the yellow now, try and get the cue ball near the baulk cushion.
2.
Play the snooker on the green, get tight in behind the brown. This is a good chance. Oh, and he's not quite got tight enough. He needs that green to run. Oh, and that's a very good shot. Difficult to play that, difficult to control. Not easy to hit either. He's going to have to hit the cushion lower than he would have liked with a bit of right hand side.
Fun. CJ, we full.
Well, still a glimmer of hope. C played brilliantly to take control of the frame, but he's been a little suspect in killing it off. Of course, White is known for his crowd-pleasing antics and his big breaks and spectacular pots, but when you've been a professional for 44 years, you have some street smarts as well. You can lay the snookers, you can put your opponent in trouble, and I think C will be very relieved to have made contact with the green there.
Yeah, he's so clever, Jimmy, that even when he gets you in a snooker, it'll probably be a tough one. It's not just about getting the white in behind something, it's trying to control the object ball into a position where it's very difficult, and even if you do miss it, you've got a high chance of leaving a free ball. Although he will not be too pleased with that previous shot.
He's such a straight cueist, Si Jiawei, but that one was entirely uncharacteristic. He doesn't chase after lost causes, White. I think he will concede.
Si Jiawei 3, end of frame.
Indeed, that is the case, and so C, with that really good break to start off the scoring in the second frame, equalises. It's 1-1. The inaugural, would you believe, we've got 7 players who could be world number 1 at the end of the week. The top 16, the elite of the game, they all play over 2 sessions on what should be a terrific Tuesday. First though, we have to determine who their 16 opponents will be.
And you make the comparison to the World Championships in terms of the prize fund, but think about when the top 16 players come in on Tuesday, it's just 5 days of play to potentially win $500,000. Sheffield is, of course, 17 days. This is such a big week for everyone.
Yes, and when you start out at the Crucible as a seed, okay, you know you're possibly going to get 0 if you lose, but it's best of 19 frames in the first round. Here it's the cutthroat best of 9 frames, so I'll tell you what, Tuesday will be compelling viewing. Stories everywhere. Although to be fair, stories everywhere today. Such as Anthony Hamilton. We saw him struggle yesterday, even though he beat Mink Nucharat. Well, Hamilton's on the verge of beating Jamie Jones. He's 3-2 ahead and 45 in front in frame 6. He's not there yet, but the veteran almost home.
Well, he spotted a red right through the middle of that pack and took the decision to take it on. He's not nice on the blue, but he has got a shot of the pink. It's the bigger shot. Yeah, and followed it up very well. That's another really clean strike from Si Jiawei. Absolutely perfect on the ideal red to remove now, the one next to the black.
Hails from the city of Shaoxing, which is home to more than 5 million people. It's a city that's over 2,500 years old, famous for Chinese opera and rice wine. Well, tell you what, when C's playing well, it's champagne snooker, not rice wine.
8.
Tatiana Wollaston, the referee there, just cleaning the cue ball on request of C. both Wollerstons are in action right now, because over on table 8, Tatiana's husband, Ben Wollerston, has just started out against Joe Perry.
Yeah, very interesting match actually on table 8, Ben and Joe. Made more interesting by the fact that Joe Perry's cue only turned up late last night. He's been here for 3 days already. Cue never made it, but it finally turned up last night, so quick dash for some practice this morning.
The Sheriff of Pottingham is through. Anthony Hamilton has beaten Jamie Jones 4-2.
So Sijia Wee may well be looking for an angle of this next colour to get into those reds. This is the last of the loose ones.
28.
Played to land low on the black, and he's nice. He's parallel to it, which is about perfect. And again, he goes into them and nothing really happens. And he's pushed some reds into play, but there was no real work on the cue ball to get it in and out of that pack. No touching ball declared either, which is a shame for C.
Sijia Wee, 35.
The way C plays these days, it's hard to believe that in 2021 he actually was relegated from the tour. But he beat Sean Murphy that year as a top-up player in the UK Championship. Then the following year won the World Snooker Federation Championship to earn his place back on the tour. And ever since, he's been climbing those rankings.
Yeah, it's incredible to think how quickly you can rise up in this game. As you say, a few seasons ago he was on the amateur circuit, playing on the Q Tour, WSF events. And then fast forward to now, he's one of the top players really. You know, he's a seed in this event, be a seed in a lot of events. Ranked 22nd in the world, and that's a superb long red. That is a highlight of why he is ranked 22nd in the world. He's able to pluck them out.
And also the action on the cue ball with such ease.
Again, it shows if you're good enough and you're willing and you're brave enough in this game, you can go very far.
Had a reasonable start to this season. Won a group in the Championship League, then he went to the Shanghai Masters, overcame Luca Brissell in the last 16 there before losing out to Judd Trump in the quarters.
7.
Made the last 32 of the Xi'an Grand Prix, and he's already safely qualified for the Wuhan Open and the British Open, which are forthcoming events.
13.
A little logo malfunction there, just peeling off, sticking to the side of the table. Edging closer to the winning line in this third frame. And these will be anxious moments as Jimmy White watches on from his seat.
20.
Doesn't want to let this man get too far in front. He's a very good front runner. Probably and possibly off the back of surrendering that huge lead in the World Championships against Luca Brisselli. He knows that it doesn't matter how far in front you are, you can always lose a game of snooker. Learned from his previous mistakes.
$28. 29.
So then this black for snooker's required. And again, in no time at all, this frame hasn't yet reached 10 minutes and it's already over.
37.
So how quickly he can reel them off. Jimmy has to respond.
When you think Jimmy White
44.
has won 10 world ranking titles, he won 9 of those before C was born.
$45.
So he's looking at the scoreboard, he's done the maths, he knows if he takes blue and high value colour he'll have enough on to make a century.
So Joey, 45. And a frame.
Ample to win the frame there, a break of 45. Add that to the run of 69 he made in the second frame, and after losing the first, C hits the front at 2-1. Performance here to knock out C Jiahui. Well, he's not played badly so far, White. C, though, in the last couple of frames, he's really excelled.
Yeah, he showed us glimpses of his talent, hasn't he, C Jiahui? Some of the balls he's potted in those 2 breaks to win the 2 frames were quite exceptional. And that man there, Jimmy White, he's going to have to dig very deep if he's going to come through this match. Said at the top of the show with Radzi in the studio that what Jimmy may have to do to win is he's going to have to score heavy. It's as simple as that. He can compete tactically with anyone, Jimmy White, but when he gets his chance, he has to score.
Yeah, that's not been there so far. When he beat Mohammed Shahab in the first round, he made 1 lone half century, 67, and it was the same story against Higginson, 52, his best break there. Well, what a task it would have been to hold the cue ball on the pink in potting that red. He could not have played it any more delicately.
King ball, thank you. Jimmy White 1.
When you think Jimmy White won the first ever world ranking event played outside of the UK, it was the 1988 Canadian Masters. In the last 3 rounds, he beat 3 players now retired. Dennis Taylor 5-3 in the quarters, Mike Hallett 9-2 in the semis, and Steve Davis 9-4 in the final.
Yeah, that's a brilliant safety shot that he's just found there. the thin edge on the red, and it had to be thin to prevent bringing that corner pocket into play. Couldn't have hit it any better. Big target for Si Jiahui to just rest into the reds though.
Touching ball.
Well, he's took a little bit of a gamble there, Jimmy, trying to get tight in behind the yellow, because by not playing to the baulk cushion, he's left Si Jiahui with hand on table at this long red. And he doesn't often miss them. What a strike.
This, in many respects, is role reversal, because when White was Si Jiahui's age, that's what he used to do all the time. Crunch them in, break opponents' hearts.
Yeah, and it really was a big gamble that Jimmy decided on the shot selection he played, because he didn't have to get tight in behind the yellow. It was a tough shot to even attempt. It may have been better to just play up to the baulk cushion. Didn't have to snooker Si Jiahui on everything. Even if he left the edge of the pack, it would still be a chance for Si to open the reds for Jimmy, possibly. But as it happens, it's cost him. So the only question is, how heavy has it cost him? Not very.
Si Jiahui 5.
Yesterday, Stephen, we saw a few pots go in off that near jaw, but not that much of the near jaw.
Yeah, that's just never going to go in, is it? And if it did, it shouldn't, because he's missed that red.
Not looking good for White at the moment. So encouraging the way he began. Optimism waning a little.
He's looking for one good positional shot here, Si Jiahui. If he can get nicely on the blue, he's got a free shot to go into the reds, but that is not nice on the blue.
Si Jiahui 1.
Some early scores in the second wave of matches in this session. Pang Junzhu leads Stuart Carrington 1-0. Louis Heathcote 2-1 up on his friend from Leicester, Joe O'Connor. Ben Wollaston 1-0 over Joe Perry. And Lepe Fan and Robbie Williams 1-1.
Well, that's a pretty good shot from Jimmy there. Did well to get this cue ball close to this top cushion. And now for the time being, Jimmy has control of the table. The ball is in his court now to play a good safety shot. But That is not a good safety shot. Big misjudgment from Jimmy White. Was trying to send that red into the pack of reds, but in missing the pack, it's come all the way around the table. And where does it go? Over the corner pocket.
1. Five. Six.
He's got quite a wide stance, has Si Jiahui. I think it's fair to say a cue action full of orthodoxy.
Yeah, his whole setup is quite nice, to be fair. He's very long, and what I mean by that is when he brings the cue back and forward as he's doing his feathers, he's right back to the hand almost, you can see. Gets the cue moving, really allows you to see what's happening before you go through and deliver the cue. Has a lot of cue speed through the ball as well, which gives you plenty of power and spin.
And funnily enough, I think one of the weaknesses he has, sometimes when he's playing a shot of that nature, he can be a little loose, mind you.
Miss.
Compliment returned.
Si Jiahui 4. Back. You can fish check.
Tatiana Wollaston, who is developing into one of the finest referees in the game, just checking with her marker to make sure the cue ball has been replaced accurately.
So, chance for Jimmy to fully commit to this red. He can drop it in, play for the black. Oh, and he got very close to it, but in getting close, he's got the double kiss. So, what's the damage? There's a red near the middle pocket that may be available to Si Jiahui. Couldn't have got much closer than that.
One.
It's just got a little bit scrappy, this frame. Si Jiahui will be looking to just try and get back into that rhythm that we've seen from the last two. Quick switch to left hand, no issues. Players are so good with their opposite hand these days.
Yeah, these days, when White turned professional,
7.
very few players could do anything like that. I say very few, hardly any. Player we talked about at the top of the match, Fred Davis, used to play a few simple shots with the opposite hand, but that was not a trait that was part of the pro game.
Again, look at the work he's got on the cue ball there. Had no angle at all, really.
14.
Had to try and manufacture some, and to get where he is now from where he was, that's a very good effort. That type of shot is made so much easier when you cue the ball very straight. We could see right down the line of Si Jiahui's cue there. Right from the minute he got down, he looked perfectly on line. And then when you cue the ball straight, all you've got to do is just deliver it.
Yeah, and of course, the other thing, not a great amount of nervous scar tissue.
23.
He delivers the cue with great authority. Stay still.
Yeah, the one thing I really like about him, and it's something that is so important in snooker, is to have a cue action that you're able to use at any given moment, regardless of what the scoreline is and regardless of what's gone before in matches. You know, right from shot one to a deciding frame, your cue action needs to be something that you can consistently produce. And Si Jiahui has a very good one, because what that allows you to do is fall back on it under pressure. It can stand you up in the pressurized moments. Of course, hours and hours of practice on the practice table. Well, only the pace kept that one out, because that was middle of the pocket.
38.
Most certainly was. Now, okay, we know it was played with a lot of pace, but you don't normally see that kind of shot repelled, do you?
No, there was just a hair too much pace on it. He didn't necessarily have to hit it that hard either, because anywhere on the black would have been ideal. He only needed the black.
Yes, and shots like that, incidents like that can switch matches. I mentioned before in that Xi'an Grand Prix match that these two played, White was 3-1 and 4-3 down, back against the wall, but he showed great grit in the 8th frame, clearing up with 62 to snatch it on the black, and he needs something similar here if he gets the chance. Instead, the opportunity to tidy things up goes to C. A little conscious of perhaps draping his waistcoat over the pink.
1.
And we saw just how costly a waistcoat foul could be last night in the Daniel Wells-Dwayne Jones match. Daniel Wells 50 odd points in front. The ball's absolutely plumb. Got straight down to a shot. Referee Olivier Martil saw his waistcoat made contact with one of the reds, and then we had an hour's long play after that.
6.
You said that with feeling, Stephen.
Yeah, I can't say it was one of the best frames of snooker I've ever sat through, but in the end it didn't make a difference. Daniel ended up winning it on the colours, but it was unspent energy.
13.
Well, this match has been played at a faster pace.
14.
And quickly, White is falling 3-1 in arrears.
$21. 22. $29. 30. $37. $39.
So it's going to be Sijar Wee one frame away from a place in the next round. Jimmy White, if he's got any hopes of continuing in this huge inaugural Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters, he's going to have to find something, and find something very special, because this has been a good performance towards the end of this match from Sijar Wee.
$51.
Monopolising the quality table time in the last 3 frames.
$57.
While he's been making breaks, see, in the last 2 frames, White has spotted a single red.
Sijar Wee, 57 and different.
It is now going very much the way of the considerably younger man. Sijar Wee was 1-0 down, now though he's 3-1 ahead. Welcome back to the capital of Saudi Arabia, and welcome back to day 3 of the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters. It's been an unqualified success so far. One of the great stories has been the progress of Jimmy White. Right now, though, it looks as though it will be halted by Sijar Wee, who needs 1 more frame to reach the next round, the last 48.
Just hasn't quite been there so far today, Jimmy White's game. You know, that type of shot, just not quite going in.
Well, Jimmy White 4.
What they call, Stephen, a pair of trousers. Don't know why, but that's what they call it.
Do they?
Yeah, pair of trousers. Direct pot going in off.
I've never heard that before.
Maybe it has something to do with the fact 2 pockets were involved.
Oh, and again, he got so close to that red, Jimmy. When he struck that, it must have felt good, but you can see the agonising disappointment. He stands over that. It's almost, what have I got to do to get in here? And to make things worse, there was a red that was available right through the pack. But he's not on the black, so it's only going to amount to 1 point.
Sijar Wee 1.
But played his safety shot quite half-heartedly. Just got down, still with the disappointment of the fact he wasn't on the black, and just played the shot, hit the yellow, didn't really give it much thought.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the previous frame. He tends to do that an awful lot. When he's out of position, it's as though the next shot doesn't matter, and we all know it does. He will get caught out by that.
Yeah, and he's probably looked at Jimmy White's day so far, how he's played, and thought that, well, he possibly isn't going to punish me today, but on another day, Jimmy White will punish you. And that could still happen. You know, Jimmy White, one of the greats of our game, still very much a possibility he could turn it on. We've not seen signs of that just yet, but Sijawi doesn't want to be playing half-hearted shots against someone like Jimmy. Because if anything, it may annoy Jimmy, and that may be the inspiration he needs to just spark into gear.
Let me quickly tell you, Ishpreet Singh Chadha of India has taken the first frame from Hossain Vafai. Ben Wollaston now 2-0 up on Joe Perry, aided by a 77 break in the second frame. Lei Pei Fan, the youngster from China, 2-1 up on Robbie Williams. And Matt Selt, whose cue, the Butterby's cue, was damaged in transit. He's had that repaired, I believe, by a local carpenter, and he's 1-0 up on Alan Taylor.
And damaged is an understatement. If you haven't seen what happened to Matthew Selt's cue, then I suggest you go onto the internet or social media, because it's quite unbelievable, really. And the fact he's still now playing with that cue, having just been glued back together by a local carpenter, is, well, incredible.
White not producing anything incredible, just cannot get going after that encouraging first frame.
Yeah, and it's not for the want of trying, because he is desperately trying to get himself back in, Jimmy White. Every time he comes to the table, he's just a couple of mil out every time, and that's all it takes in this game. It's very much a game of accuracy. Something just isn't quite sat right with Jimmy at the minute.
And you might think, well, he's been there, done that, he's won almost 40 professional titles. But defeat for him still hurts. He badly wants to make an impact, even now, at the age of 62.
Yeah, and his attitude to snooker is clear to see still when you do an interview with Jimmy and you hear how he speaks still about the game and his love for it and his love for the practice. And, you know, he's still very chipper about the fact that he fancies himself when he plays. He says his A game is good enough to beat anyone. And that in itself is a commendable attitude.
6.
He's not produced his A game here today, though, that's for sure. He's not even been his B game, really. It's been a real struggle.
Sijawi 6.
But you never know, things can turn around. That was a tough green from C. If White can get this frame under his belt, it's a short best of 7 sprint. The match is retrievable.
Yeah, and if you saw how quick Jimmy got out of his chair, as soon as Sijawi struck that cue ball, he knew, Jimmy, that it wasn't going in. He was round to the table like a whippet. So, chance for Jimmy now. He could look for an angle off black here to go into the reds, if he wishes. In playing it early in this break, he's got a couple of loose reds available to possibly land on as well.
8.
May not do that from this shot now. Play for the red into left corner.
$16.
couldn't quite avoid the brown. It was a tough positional shot anyway, had the brown
19.
not been kissed.
Jimmy White, 19.
Well, Sijia Wee will be disappointed to make contact with the brown from that safety shot, because it was quite a big target up in that balk area in behind it. Had he have missed the brown, he may have got Jimmy in a lot more trouble than he is now. Possible shot to nothing for Jimmy, and this time he has the chance to get in behind that brown. Caught it much too thick. He didn't like that one.
When I interviewed White earlier today, he was making the point that at this stage in his career, one of the big problems is that from day to day, doesn't really know how well he's going to play or how badly. Some days he can be brilliant, other days it's just not there. Obviously this scoreline has been greatly contributed to by C, who spotted some really good balls. But of course in this format, all White has to do is play 3 inspired frames and it's a case of thank you, we'll move on. But it's the complete opposite to inspired right now.
Yeah, and it's that type of shot that's just been going astray for Jimmy. A shot, the in shots, the ones that you pot and get yourself in, they just haven't been reaching the destination. Oh, and again, he tries to bully those reds into the pocket, doesn't he? But twice the pockets have refused to accept the middle pocket in the previous frame and that one there. So Jimmy White now, chance to get himself back in.
1.
Already with a slight lead in this frame, Jimmy, he'll be hoping, he'll be willing himself on to make this little clearance, score enough points at this visit to take this frame and close the gap. He's got a little bit of work to be done though. Black is out of commission. Pink up on the green spot. He's only really got the blue to play with for now.
Jimmy White, 6.
It's all in danger of fizzling out. White's made over 300 centuries in pro competition, 325 to be precise. He's made a 147 at the Crucible. Right now, though, struggling to string anything meaningful together.
And that was much better from Sijar. He took a moment there to just realise what he needed to do. Jimmy hadn't left anything, or at least he hadn't left anything straightforward. Weighed up the percentages. It was a big target in behind brown and green. Getting the cue ball up there meant that Jimmy would be in trouble this next shot. And even though Sijar Hui just caught the brown, I think he's cut off the left side of the reds as we look for Jimmy. So he's only got the right side to go at. And that single red on the right side of the table is a problem ball. Had to play the safety shot thicker to avoid it.
Stuart Carrington and Pang Junzhu now 1-1. Same with Alan Taylor and Matthew Selt. Louis Heathcote 3-1 up on Joe O'Connor. He was well behind in the fourth frame, was Heathcote, but he won it by potting blue, pink and the final black.
One. Sijar Hui, 1.
Not happy, Sijar Hui. He's lost concentration. So too his opponent. Hence, a proliferation of mistakes.
One.
Now Jimmy taking the chance to get this pink back on its spot, back down this end of the table to make scoring easier. Those two reds closest together in between the pink and black spot will pot to left corner. Can Jimmy White just judge the line of the cue ball off the side cushion, across the blue spot almost, play for those reds, or is he going to go a different route? Well, he's gone a different route twice across, hoping to land on the red right of the black.
7.
Well, it was a brilliant positional shot because couldn't really have landed much nicer on that red. But he's going to need another good one here. Oh, very good. He was able to just dig in deep enough to that cue ball to come back for these reds into the same pocket. Nicely played. Thought he may have been just slightly too low on that black. So, real good chance now for Jimmy White to take this frame and close the gap to 3-2. That pink puts him 43 points in front. One more red and colour required
22.
to keep Sijar Hui in his seat.
By reaching 6 World Championship finals and losing them all, White, because he's so popular, raised expectations only for those dreams to be dashed. Is he going to raise expectations again here by salvaging this frame and staying alive in the match?
31. Jimmy White, 38, and a frame.
You know, this whirlwind hasn't blown through yet. Si Xiaohui's lead reduced to 3-2. Here, even though one has to say Si Xiaohui on the way to a 3-2 lead has been the better player.
Yeah, he has. He's been much the better player, Si Xiaohui, but that's the beauty of these short matches. Race to 4, best of 7s. You're never quite safe. And even when you get to 3, you still know that the job isn't done just yet. One away still feels a long way away in a best of 7. Oh, but that's an absolute beauty. What a pot from Si Xiaohui.
Being a really bad nitpicker here. Could have done with an extra roll on the cue ball, but you're right, that was one out of the top draw.
Yeah, it was very tough to get on a red from where he was. Not just the pot being missed, but he was trying to control the cannon off the red, so wasn't ideal on it. Referee Tatiana Wollaston confirming for Jimmy White that it's a touching ball.
Like the look of that spider. Although you don't really want to use one of those things. And that was the conventional spider.
Yeah, and that is not a good safety shot from Si Xiaohui. He was unable to control the object ball, and he's much too shy of pace. He's left Jimmy White with a chance at this long red to left corner. Can he get that little bit closer than he has been so far today? Yes, much better. May have liked a better cannon to the red, but at least the red went in this time. He's missed a couple like that so far. Got very close to them, but they haven't gone in.
He was willing the cue ball to go past the red, and it did do.
I just wonder if he's a little bit too close for comfort. As you can see, he's just raising the butt of the cue there to avoid the push shot.
8.
And that is not ideal because he can't dig into the cue ball enough here to get into the pack of reds. Well, that's an incredible effort from where he was. To get that much action on the cue ball from near the cushion.
13.
Commendable effort. But to no prevail because he didn't get into the pack. So it's end of break.
Jimmy White.
If you
13.
think about it, the quality of the strike might have worked against him there because the cue ball was thrown a little too wide. He caught it sweetly. Of course, White is at that stage now where he knows against an opponent of this calibre, any mistake could be his last. Well, that was a mistake, but I think he's been, first impressions, extremely fortunate.
He took a while over that shot. He took a while to come to the decision of that shot. He felt that he had to commit to it fully. From where the cue ball was, had no real control over where it was going. You could see right under the cushion. Decided to fully commit to the red, and well, he's had a massive result, hasn't he? Because he could have done a lot of damage there, Jimmy.
And things like that happen, and only natural for C to start thinking, this could go in a nasty way.
Again, all he can really do is... Oh, where's this red going? Oh, no. Well, disaster for Jimmy White. Delight for Si Jiahui. I was just about to say, all he could do really is control the controllables, Si Jiahui, and he hasn't really been controlling things himself the last frame and a half. The safety shots he's played have been below par, no real thought behind them. It's just allowed Jimmy a glimmer of hope in this match, but couldn't have wished for an easier starter.
Yes, it was one of those dreaded anywhere but there shots, wasn't it? Now, he broke a rule there in terms of his alignment. He was craning over, and when you do that, okay, the pot was very simple, but he's badly misjudged the cue ball.
7.
Yeah, look where he's landed. That is so poor again. He's having to take this red into the yellow pocket, probably, and wanted to be nice on the red just above the pink to left corner, so it was a massive misjudgment.
When you lean over like that, your alignment can be compromised, your timing. Nothing good comes of it.
8.
But plenty good could come of that.
Yeah, and he's just having a little look at the big cluster of reds. He's got a few that are available.
15.
So you can just chip away at the scoreboard for the time being, Si Jiahui. Big target to play a little cannon into as well, should he need to at any point.
21.
The ideal ball would be to play into them from the pink, just play the white up directly to that cluster of 4 by the pink spot. He'd be guaranteed on one to left corner, but he can't get to the pink from where he's finished here. He's going to have to go up for blue or green. Yeah, good shot. Deserves to be on one, really. Landed perfect on the green to play that shot into the pack. And he's got one to middle, and he'll be hoping history doesn't repeat itself here. Missed one a couple of frames ago, played it at a lot of pace. He'll have that in mind.
This a potential match winner. Well, I'm glad I said potential, because the cue ball got away from him. Actually, the kiss on the black might well have salvaged. Have been a lot worse, Stephen.
Yeah, it could have. It's landed awkward from where he is, so he's choosing to take the more difficult pink. And that really could be a match winner. Great cueing once again from Si Jiahui, under pressure.
Yeah, his ability to knock in pressure.
So Si Jiahui through to round 4. And as for Jimmy White, the fairy tale ends a little bit earlier than he'd have liked. But the great news for him, first of all, talking about Jimmy, the loser, is that he did have chances.
He did, yeah, and you could see from that match, you know, bitter disappointment in his face, because a number of times he was just a fraction out on those long balls, and you know, at this level, that's all it takes. If those long ones go in, you know, he may get himself going, and it could have been a different story. But yeah, just a fraction out today, unfortunately, for Jimmy.
For the neutral, watching C is always amazing, because that guy takes on any shot if he fancies it.
Well, the break he's made in the middle of that match, you know, Phil Yates in commentary was just saying, you know, all the best potting one from here, and he just kept potting them. They were just going in off the lampshades, and you know, he's an incredible talent, and it's part of the reason why you fancy him to go to the top of the game, because he's a very good shot maker. He's got everything in his locker.
So is he an informed player? Does he need to actually have momentum coming into a tournament, or do you think he can almost find it like, say, an O'Sullivan does?
Yeah, I think, you know, you watch him play, and he looks so natural. Like, the game comes very easy to him. He's got a real quick snooker brain. He sees the shots quickly, and I think any sort of player like that has always got a chance. You know, they could come off the back of a couple of losses, but then all of a sudden it just clicks into place, and I very much think that Si Jiahui is one of them players.
So up next he faces Graham Dott, who comes here via way of a walkover. 2006 world champion, you don't win that without having a high snooker IQ, a little bit like Jimmy. Could he cause C a few problems?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Graham's always going to be a handful for anyone, but Si Jiahui has dealt with Jimmy White today, who's obviously a very experienced player. He's up against Graham Dott, who himself is a very experienced player. Tactically, he'll maybe have to improve, because he's probably going to outscore Graham, But yeah, who knows?
It's going to be a really, really interesting one. And by the way, just to bring you right up to date with all the scores that have taken place, so 16 matches in total this afternoon. 2 have taken place on what we call the TV table, and then 14 others as well. A couple of big upsets, by the way. Malaysia, certainly on paper, Malaysia's Rory Thor, the world number 84, beating the Milkman. Another upset from Ashley Carty, the Glaswegian Gladiator, falling to him. No more eye issues from Anthony Hamilton. Think back to the round 2 where he almost conceded possibly against Mink. Now he's in round 4. Congratulations to Jimmy Robertson. Ishpreet Hussain, by the way, that is one of the most engrossing of the day. 1 apiece there, also 1 apiece in terms of Stu and Pang. And then finally, Lewis Heathcote just 1 away, but the comeback could potentially be on. Currently 3-1. Now, in terms of the stuff we can look forward to this evening, it's 2 down and 2 still to go. So it's Bingham through, it's Sijawi through, but who else will manage it? Will it be Jack Lazowski or Andrew Paget? And as for that final match, Ryan Day and Stan Moody, that one is a bit of a pick-em for me. That could be really interesting.
Yeah, again, another youth versus experience. Ryan Day, he's been around for a long time. Stan came through a tense old match against sort of a young rival last night in Liam Pullen. You know, they've come through the junior ranks together. Very interesting match. And again, seeing Stan on table 1 is great because it really gives him the opportunity to show us what he can do. But very tough match against Ryan Day.
He's also tough on himself. We were waiting for the bus a couple of days ago, and he was there, and you wouldn't have thought he'd gotten through, and he was saying, "Nah, I've got to be better if I want to do well in this tournament."
Yeah, and I think in a way it's good to see because it shows you that he's got great high expectations for himself. He obviously knows how well he can play on the practice table, but this is far from the practice table. And, you know, he's just going through the gears, trying to find a bit of form coming into this event. You know, he probably fancies having a good run in this, but, you know, he's going to have to beat Ryan Day tonight. It's a very tough game.
Just a word for the amount of teenagers in this tournament. It's actually incredible. A couple of 17-year-olds, 19-year-olds, guys in their very early 20s, which says to me snooker's in a great place.
It's in a brilliant place, isn't it? You know, there's a lot of talented youngsters coming through, particularly in Europe at the minute. You know, Zizins, Bulcher Revez, Julian Boyko. We saw Anthony Kowalski last night come through. There's just a lot of talent about, and you know, it all comes from opportunities like this, big tournaments in different countries, giving players the opportunities. You know, in 10 years' time, we may be stood here with players from Saudi Arabia that are at that level as well. Who knows?
Absolutely right. And just to remind ourselves of the other match taking place, so Jack Lazowski, Andrew Paget. If we're going to put an advert out there to encourage the viewers to come back in an hour and 45, what would we say about that match?
Well, jackpot Jack Lazowski, that's all you need to know. You know, you often get fireworks with him, but that game is very interesting. Andrew Paget came through a match last night. He was 3-2 down to Alexander Erzenbacher, needed 3 snookers to take it to a decider, and then won a black ball game. He must be living on cloud 9 right now.
So does that make him feel almost like this is a freebie here? I've got a free hit of this.
Absolutely, it's a complete free hit. You know, he'd have probably been thinking about the flight home at 3-2 down and 3 snookers, you know, planning his route back to the UK, and all of a sudden he's playing again tonight on table 1 against Jack Lazowski. He's got absolutely nothing to lose. It could be a cracker.
It really could be a cracker, and that's just one of the reasons to make sure that you join us in just over an hour and 45 minutes time. It'll be 8 o'clock local time, 6 o'clock British summer time. Whatever you, join us once again here for the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters.